Creating the business card. Updated until this later.
Of course it has. Isn't that fun?
He's making it better.
My favorite are the days that I'm running late and then it needs to
Update.
that needs to update.
You go to shut down for the day and it's got to do all these downloads on your computer before it'll go dead.
Well, better to do that than when you're trying to log on to a meeting
Yes,
and you're.
that's what I'm.
Exactly,
referring
and
to.
oh, Zoom needs to update, you're gonna be even later than,
Then you're already late.
yeah. All right, Rick, you wanna get us going?
Sure, welcome everyone to the January 2025 sustainability meeting. The first order of business is we do have a quorum. So we can entertain a motion to enter the minutes that Jamie has provided us from the last meeting that we held in December, early December, because of all the holidays.
So moved.
Second, we have a Deb and Dave, and any discussion? Seeing none, we need to take a roll call because Ron's remote.
We do, I'll start in the room, Rick,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Deb,
Yes.
Lydia. Yes. Ron,
Yes,
The next is welcoming
oh, yeah, go ahead.
Bill Donovan to the committee as the town council liaison.
Thank you.
We'll certainly miss April, who was very instrumental in keeping us focused on a number of things, but Bill is no stranger to this committee. And he certainly brings his experience and passion to it, so the committee is thankful that you got to sign this committee.
And I asked for it and pressed for it, and I'm excited to be here.
Great.
I believe,
A lot of
I
things on the
believe in our
horizon.
cause, so.
And we also have a guest. You want to introduce yourself?
Paul Lyons. I'm a resident of Scarborough, just moved here last year.
Nice to meet you. Brad.
Where'd you move from?
Cambridge, Massachusetts.
right.
Yeah, I remember that now. Cambridge is far and far ahead of some of the other communities that are around, and certainly, are a model that a lot of people look at
Yeah,
and, salute to them. I'm gonna
Well,
turn
like
it over.
their cup collection, Jamie.
Yeah,
Sorry, I just grabbed it.
no, it's fine.
I'm looking like.
So first on the agenda is public comment. Paul, since you're the only member of the public, do you have public comment or,
no,
all right, we can move on then. So the next, section on our agenda is updates, and I just wanted, for, those who may not be aware, so we have a very abbreviated agenda this meeting, for a couple of reasons. One, we have, two new members that will join in, February, so, we'll have to, vote on, chair and vice chair, at our February meeting, once we have, the new members joining us. And also town council will be doing their goal setting coming up this weekend. And so there may be kind of directive or, actions for this group that comes out of that, so we didn't necessarily want to start in on anything new, and we also have the climate action plan upcoming.
Do you have names for them?
Not off the top of my head, but they have been, yeah,
Through the nomination.
so the,
Appointments committee.
appointments committee has, made their recommendations. It now needs to go to town
It's,
council, but I can't remember their names off the top of my head. When it comes to you, or once you find
Dan
it.
Shapiro.
Oh, yeah. Dan
It's one
Shapiro.
of them,
Yeah.
the solar guy. Solar guy, that's what we're gonna call him.
So we are.
That's his technical. Was there another person?
There is one other person, and I can't remember, like I said, who it was.
Well, that's good that you got a full team.
Yeah.
Moving ahead. We've been out without a second alternate in the planning board for a few months.
Yeah.
Yeah, So it's nice to have full ranks,
Yeah.
and it's a tribute to the citizens of the community that are stepping up and volunteering to give their time.
And I do just want to say that all these meetings are public, so if you guys miss us or want to continue being involved, we would welcome you at 8 AM on the fourth Wednesday of the month. to
As an
join us.
example, I'm still here only because I forgot to do paperwork. But I didn't,
So you didn't turn
Forgot to
out, even though
come. I
you've still
know.
been coming here.
I
for-
know, so weird. Sorry, guys, I didn't do that. I didn't like game the system or something. I'm just bad at paperwork.
So just had to put that plug in. Next on the agenda are just updates, town council. Bill, do you have anything to share?
Well, we have a meeting tonight, which is, for this committee, quite important in that we are undertaking a second reading on our wetland setback ordinance. The staff has done a terrific job of advancing a very important issue in terms of preservation of wetlands. And in a community like Scarborough, there's probably no more recognizable issue than that. So we are at a point where I think we will have a strong majority support the ordinance with a couple of amendments that are being advanced by our senior staff, but I'm confident it's going to pass.
You great guys with those amendments. I don't need words. Like, what's the goal?
So there'll be we're proposing a brief like phase-in period or effective, what's in the ordinance right now is May 1st of this year. So just to get any developments that we're planning to, or scheduled to come through planning board or hoping to get through planning board this spring, we'll not necessarily have to change their plans in order to do that.
Okay.
The other one is to allow developments with permanent wetland fill to have a reduced setback, so they'll still be required to do or reestablish a 15-foot vegetated buffer, but they won't have the additional 10 feet setback as part of that. It's basically developers were asking for no setbacks
Right.
if they're filling wetlands, and we're proposing a compromise to have a reduced setback.
Okay.
Not ideal, but something we can live with if we're like,
It's
we
better
see
than
this,
nothing.
it's better than nothing, which is what they were asking for. And we see this as the wetland setbacks effort is a first step. We're hoping that things will move beyond that, but this small setback has proven to be such a fight that anything more is gonna be really difficult, but it is the hope of the Conservation Commission to have more standards in place.
Yeah, but we can also allow just a few dictate what
Yeah.
Well,
the
and-
entirety want.
That's one thing that I wanted to say also is that during public hearing, there was very strong support from residents, and that really seemed to make an impact on the council. So anyone that has time this evening to go and speak in favor or send emails to the town council in support of this, I think it made a difference at the public hearing, and I think it'll make a difference tonight. So.
So an email today is still helpful.
Yes. The earlier the better, like it seems like April was
Yeah.
saying they get a rush of emails at like 4 PM and they don't necessarily have a chance to look through all of them before they're.
I know what
meeting.
that's like.
Yeah,
We got that yesterday.
And then some of them are fonts are as big that you can't read it.
so yeah, if you have any friends or neighbors that care about this type of thing, it would be great to get them speaking in favor also.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's at the front end of the agenda. So after the prefatory elements are taken care of in the first 15-20 minutes, it'll be before 8 o'clock.
If I may, Bill, can I ask what's on your mind as you go into goal setting, when you put your sustainability committee liaison cap on?
Yeah, the sustainability issues, I want to be able to get a feel for where we're at with our group here. For me, the when I was asked to put forward issues that I thought were the most important issues for the community, I put the resolution of the overcrowding in the schools as the number one issue for me. And that's just because I believe in public education strongly, and it's at a terrible state with portables, people going outside from building to building, and so that's where I'm at, but I'll be able to speak more strongly on that issue in the weeks and months ahead.
Okay,
Yeah, and I think April definitely picked this group's brain at the last few meetings to kind of see where this group was hoping to go so that she could bring some items forward.
and your work list that you provided is a good start in a kind of a comprehensive look at what the future for this community looks like.
Yeah, and it's already on our work plan to begin, like I've said a couple times now, our climate action plan, and there, so that will be this group's focus in 2025 and into 2026. And then there will certainly be action items out of that plan for this group.
And the EECGB grant,
Still waiting,
yeah, I know, and we're hearing daily of things being
yeah.
challenging times ahead. Seems like the power of the pen is in action right now. There's gonna be some windfall because of that.
Hopefully the dust will start to settle a little bit and we can start taking some of this, like understand where things actually
But
stand.
Maine is well positioned with our Maine 08 in our climate action plan that's in place. And Scarborough's in a good place because they have a comprehensive plan that envisions the stuff that we're been working on for many years, so. With senior staff and our future looks good.
It's gonna keep moving forward and doing what we can. Yeah, the next 4 years will certainly be interesting. Rick and Autumn, do you have a planning board update?
Oh, Rick, you wanna do it, right? We had a long one.
We had we ended it just before 10 o'clock, so it wasn't as long as last month. But the FedEx, I guess the big one, was the FedEx truck terminal on Holmes Road, was approved. Watch the video if you really want to get into all the stuff. It was one of the most vetted projects that I did during my tenure with the planning board, and I really feel like we did our due diligence with the developer, and the developer in their they were wonderful to work with, at least from my viewpoint. I don't know behind the
No,
scenes.
they actually were.
They certainly did over and above and made concessions that I feel very strongly that the planning, that I made the right vote. I voted for it. And I think it was definitely a majority. Obviously, it got approved. And I really think was a lot of thought put into it. And it's a good business to bring into Scarborough. And I think they'll be good stewards and good community partners. So that got approved after 6 meetings or something, so. That was the big one. There's just some little stuff going on. I'll turn it over to you, Autumn,
Oh,
to.
sure. Yeah, we just did a couple of cleanup subdivision amendments and extension. The Downs asked for an amendment to their impervious cover for the downtown core area. So they'll be coming back, for our next planning board meeting. We'll see some sketch plans for the new grocery store and retail area. And then we did, there's a construction project, a constructor, struggling for words. He's the guy that did my renovations downstairs. O's of Maine, very nice, builder, construction contractor. He's putting in his new facility on Hunting Hill Road.
And that building looks great.
Yeah, and it looks
And
really
he made
nice.
concessions on some of the visual aspects
Mhm.
that we asked for on the planning board, so I think that's gonna be a
Tight
nice.
site, but they did everything.
Now, if Downs is getting additional impervious, is there some trade-off?
Yeah, well, they're not getting additional impervious, the planned development can be no more than 75%. And what they are doing is, it's a density kind of thing. They've added a little more impervious in this area, but they still overall cannot exceed the 75%. So that's why I was okay with it.
And it's about that downtown core area, and they're most likely going to use turf in the green area because of the
artificial.
traffic, so that'll be impervious.
But it really, it's like,
It'll look natural, but they do have trees and things like that still planted, but for the longevity of that area, that's what. There's a lot of solar on all their buildings, Deb. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
but
yeah,
the microplastic turf.
well, that's still in my thunder.
We haven't gotten the review of that yet, it's just.
I haven't been able to ask my question, but I will as they develop this downtown. So how much electricity are you generating at this point
Yeah.
within that? And it's a shame. It's shameful that we have all that surface area and nothing. And they keep showing us pictures, renditions with it on, but it's
You're the chair now.
yeah, so I can. So it'll be interesting, and I think we can get something accomplished, and we have to, it's just, that's silly, it's the intent. Way back when this was all put together, it was supposed to be, this area where innovation district and all of this kind of stuff, a catalyst for good built environment. Well, they're doing some things good, but they're doing some things not so good, and they're doing nothing, something that should be done. So,
Well, I mean, that's not really this committee's purview, but more turf, just. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to make passage areas resilient without plastic.
I mean, they have done good, the gravel wetlands and that, they're done some good things out there. And we went on a tour, I think this committee, or no, it was planning board committee, went on a tour and looked at some of the stormwater management systems that they had out there. They have done some good things, but I don't think they're living up to the vision that, well, I had, there'd be some real poster child of sustainability within our community.
Continue to fight the good fight. Good luck with that.
Well, thanks to staff, I mean, our ordinances are getting a little bit better defined. Puts a little more teeth into them, and it's one step at a time.
So Conservation Commission is working on getting the wetlands setbacks passed. That's really been the focus. They're also have been contemplating a tree protection ordinance. And then also just providing input into to Councilor Shu, who's the liaison for that committee for the goal setting process. So we'll see what actions can happen.
That's land conveyance that is happening. Is that already in the
Open space.
open space
Not the part.
inventory?
What?
The Larrabee Farms. Is that included? I know the part that we already own is. But I don't know. off the top of my
I
head.
would I have to go back and look because we had talked about it and we were just waiting for kind of the process to be complete so that we knew that it was,
So maybe it's
I
not.
don't think it is,
Well, that's a big,
but.
it's 100 and some odd acres
130 acres.
that is gonna be preserved now. So,
It'll be conveyed to the town, right?
well, yeah, and hopefully we can keep it.
We will have to, it has deed restrictions
Yeah.
on it, yeah, it's just the ownership would be nice for us to.
Yeah.
to have.
yeah, I made a note to double check on that because I know we went back and forth. And we were just waiting, I think, for the process to be complete before it was officially added to the inventory.
The 15 feet that hopefully passes, will that be able to get added to the 30 by 30? That serve area?
It's too, I think it's gonna be too much to try to like catalog and document.
Yeah.
Let's not, cause that,
Yeah,
I don't,
it kind of.
Yeah, because that's already, you gotta do it.
let's not, because I would rather see us move towards.
Sure.
subdivision.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we had like.
Large tracts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if we had 100-foot setback and it was, you know, a good, along a good, or like that, I think would matter more so than 15 feet.
Sure.
Like 15 feet is the bare minimum for any
I
kind
saw that
Agreed,
red
of.
line, I
yes.
was like, oh, good,
Yeah.
not very enough.
Yeah. So. Transportation committee.
I wasn't at their last meeting, but I know they reviewed comments. We had, I think, 52 comments from, feedback from the community, and it was dispersed throughout the town, so that was really good. A lot of desire for ped and bike facilities, as well as a lot of specific traffic complaints, as you can imagine. So they're just moving through that process. I think the comments are closing this week, I believe, for that, so if you haven't had a chance, it's online. You know, and if you don't want to read the whole thing, put in your specific complaints or desires, that's fine too.
Open space plan, the draft, we extended the comment period, so the draft is available, through the end of this week to review and provide comment, and then we will go through with the, goodies are here, with the open space ad hoc committee, and our consultant to, incorporate the revisions, and we are scheduled for a town council workshop, the second meeting in February, which I think is the 19th. To go through the plan with the, town council. And then the vulnerability assessment, we just had a meeting with the working group and our consultants yesterday, looking at road prioritization. So there are about 25 public roads that are going to be kind of the priority roads. These are the important ones for the town to address in some way. They're probably not going to be ranked, you know, 1 through 25, but they're just gonna be in there. Because we don't want the ranking to necessarily dictate how they're addressed, because there may be opportunities to address lower ranked roads before higher ranked roads, just based on opportunities that arise. And then also looking at pilot projects, so we're going to have adaptation strategies developed, general adaptation strategies developed for all kind of roads and infrastructure and areas in Scarborough, but we are choosing 3 things to go a little bit deeper and have more in-depth strategies developed for, and so those are going to be Payne Road. So once Route 1 is addressed, which DOT is moving forward with, and I can give a brief update on that as well. Once Route 1 is addressed, they are proposing a bridge span now as part of Route 1, which is a new development. In the future, that will move more water upstream and impact Payne Road. So we need to be thinking about what to do at Payne Road once that happens.
That shows everybody's 15-foot setbacks too.
It sure might.
Because that's what water does.
Right, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's
wetlands are dynamic, that's
protecting
not
them
like a
from
hard line.
themselves.
Yeah.
Well, it goes up there. I mean, the upstream people need to be thought about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are doing a bit of a deeper dive at Payne Road. And there's also DOT strongly encouraged us to look at infrastructure adaptation grant opportunity that they will have coming out this summer, specifically for Payne Road. So hoping that we can, through the vulnerability assessment work, we can position ourselves to apply for that grant. So we'll see with that. Also looking at down at Higgins, doing some stabilization along Ocean Ave, Bayview, thank you. my brain is not working this morning. Along Bayview, in the area that was heavily impacted by the storms, last January. So looking at a few different options there, and working with DEP to see what they will permit, because that is a dune system. And so based on how the regulations are written, there's a lot of limitations in what we may be able to do there. And so we'll be working with our consultant to come up with some recommendations or options there. And then going to DEP to see what they would support us doing. And then the project down at Pine Point is still in development. From the neighborhood meeting down there, the residents were asking for kind of a more formalized emergency alert system to let them know, if when storms are predicted or if they're likely to be cut off. And to have some advance notice or way to get the information out to the community. So we're proposing that as a first step, and then kind of looking at mid and long-term needs as well. For that location, because the predictions for 2100 are pretty scary for Pine Point. And so having some discussions and hard discussions about what the future of Pine Point might look like in 75 to 100 years.
Clam Bay could become the next DeMillo's, huh?
It might, yeah,
Boy.
might need to put a boat down there. So, yeah, so we're hopefully going to address their short-term requests, and then one of the recommendations will be to do more mid and long-term, like, planning, down there.
I'm glad to see that timeline.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, the product from the vulnerability assessment will be an interactive story map where you can go online and look at a lot of the information that was, compiled for this, and then click through maps to look at where our vulnerable areas are, kind of the different, what the outlook is over the next 75 to 80 years. And how different areas of town will be impacted when. So that is scheduled to be available this winter. So the working group that's providing input to the process, hopefully will get it by the first week of February for their review. And then it will be released to the public once it's kind of gone through an internal review process. And that will be updated throughout the remainder of the process with adaptation strategies and things like that for the different areas of Scarborough.
When do you predict that will be out?
So we're scheduled this summer to finalize the vulnerability assessment. And I didn't have it on here, but I did send you all an email about the sustainability reserve account. So thank you to Rick and David for joining me at the finance committee meeting last week. They were very supportive of the idea of a sustainability fund. They asked us why we were only asking for 20% of electrical permit fees. So they suggested we go for 50% of excess electrical permit fees, which we'll see based on what's budgeted and what is brought in, what those numbers actually look like. Actually budget a
You
little.
want me to budget a little?
A little, that's right, that's
I mean,
right.
I can make this work out.
Yeah, okay, but just a little.
So Rick, that's sort of the arc of your work. on
Yeah, and
this.
what really
You've been working on
impressed
this
me-
For what, 15 years?
15 years, that was one of the first, well, that and the hiring of a sustainability.
All right, well, 50% ain't bad.
No,
Was there for the other?
But to
50?
get the finance committee to also seed it with additional money, that was really,
Yeah, so
That
they,
was fair.
That's a huge step.
yeah,
yeah,
In the right direction.
Yeah.
Because it provides a level of flexibility that we simply have not had,
right.
so.
And they're also supportive of updating the EV charging ordinance language to direct any in lieu fees that are collected to the reserve account. And then, yeah, like Rick said, they also propose seeding it with starting us off with $25,000.
Which I would suggest is, mean,
it's a
I
good
haven't done the math on what I would think there should be if we had gotten this past 15 years.
Right.
But it's good to recognize.
Well, and
Do
Tom,
look interest too.
right, Tom also mentioned once the Tri-Gen is fully decommissioned and that any proceeds from that would go into to that fund.
Oh,
That's
that would be,
awfully high.
I know, right?
that's like, oh, okay, it doesn't hurt quite as bad.
It does, it still hits quite as bad.
Well, so
Yeah.
we can do some good with that.
And
so.
our understanding is that that'll be part of the conversation of council goals, possibly, is some conversation around that and we'll support. Seeing if there's a support of the entire council towards this fund, so.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's on the list for your.
That's
conversation,
huge.
so that's
It
great.
really is huge.
That is huge, that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, we've been asked to provide, some thoughts around what that, the fund would be used for. And so when we met with them, we had talked about, responding to grant opportunities that require match. And that really spoke to, some of the counselors on the committee. Some of my other thoughts were, if we ever need to do any like HVAC upgrades or replacements in any of our buildings, the sustainability fund could potentially pay for the difference between what the town is going to invest in, another oil burner as opposed, and then we can upgrade, pay the difference so that they would do something more efficient.
Education and outreach, that's the other place where
That
we
is
can
the
really
other
kind of
thing.
strong. When we don't have money until like send the mail in.
Yeah, that was some,
Yeah.
from the food waste pilot, I remember that feedback, yeah.
Yeah,
We did not set ourselves up for success with that one without having
And-
proper
we
outreach.
try, but,
But another way that we could say we've done well in that is the Sustainable Scarborough Day.
Yeah.
That has been, and I'm glad it's becoming an annual event.
I bought a banner. It's gonna happen every year. First Sunday in October, every year, mark your calendars. So,
It's gonna be recognized as a Scarborough holiday.
Yeah,
yeah, there you go.
Jamie, you did say food waste, and so I just have to jump in.
Mhm.
Those bins remain over full probably half the times.
Okay,
That I turn up there. And so working with, I'd like to put that on our agenda.
yeah, I'll
for
check,
next
I can check in
couple
with
months.
Public Works about that also. I know they're emptied twice a week, so maybe we either need to add another stop or a few more bins just to accommodate. I know we need more locations.
Yeah, I would like to
Um,
put that on our agenda, as something to work forward, is additional locations. South Portland is still with Garbage to Garden, and they're using a much larger bin format, which gets you way more capacity
Mhm.
without the same footprint.
Well, and I had
Um,
Garbage to Gardens reached out probably like 18 months ago saying they were planning to start offering curbside service in Scarborough, and then I never heard from them again. So,
okay.
I
Just put it
need
on
to
our
check
agenda. We
in.
just need to follow up
Yeah.
and figure out how to, what next steps might be on that one. And that's an outreach piece as well, because I'm continuing to see a lot of plastic in those bins.
And that is all right because that actually goes to anaerobic digestion, so some plastic is fine.
Oh, we're back there.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a block of time. It's been sort of shifting sands,
Yeah,
and it's been hard for me even to keep up with what we're doing. So
yeah, so
We just need a deep dive into that.
Yeah.
But we need to talk about it more, but it needs to be on the list. Thank you.
All right, so the next meeting is February 26th. We'll have a couple new members, sadly, but also really good. Sad to say goodbye, but welcoming it new. And that's all for our business meeting so that we can partake in the coffee and
Coffee
goodies.
smells so good.
So do-
Right on that.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Very good.
I'll take it.
Vote by grabbing.
All right. Thanks, Ron. We'll see you next month.
Okay, save me a couple of things, okay?
They might not be good next month. so put that on.
Oh my God.
Enjoy your warm
Now you don't know
house.
what to do, do you?